Why are you a woman?
Oh, we are so fucked.
Why are you a man?
I think you are the one who will be answering the questions here.
I'm a new transfer.
We didn't hear anything about this. I'm gonna have to, if you're trying to sweet talk, I'm gonna have to ask you to roll talk for me.
I got a 3.
Well, we didn't hear anything about this. But then again, we are very low on the totem pole, so we have to be careful. We have heard word that there are enemy witches about.
Oh, yes, I read those reports as well. They sound awful.
Cut the chit-chat, just get in the fucking building.
If you'll excuse me, I'm sorry, I have business to attend to.
Go on ahead, and they let you into the administrative building.
Thank you. Close the door behind me. Is there anyone else inside the administrative building?
Ah, there's Nazis.
Shit.
Imagine that.
It's like a couple at the desk. There's one or two milling about in their room. Occasionally they're coming and going up or down the stairs.
So there's at least 5.
At least, yeah.
I have an idea. I'm going to approach one of the workers, the clerks, I guess. Good day.
Why are you a woman?
This was already covered by the guards out front.
I wasn't out front.
I am a new transfer.
Do you have your paperwork?
Can I stealthily conjure the paperwork?
Roll stealth and conjuration.
As I'm doing this, can I like rummage to take it out of something so I'm not just like trying to make it like stealthily pull it out? Yeah, I guess.
What's that? Behind your ear.
Well, you got a shitty stealth roll, but they got an even shittier recon roll, so I think you're good to go here.
Oh, Jesus Christ, thank God. Okay. Yes, here's my paperwork.
What kind of paper did you conjure? You're up a creek and you're about to lose your paddle here, Scott.
God damn it.
So 2 questions here. Number 1, do you know what the transfer paperwork looks like? Number 2, can you write in German? Because I just established that speaking magical tongues does not translate to reading and writing.
I can't take back those actions.
Conjuration has its limits, Scott.
She just conjures a piece of paper that just says, I do what I want.
All right, you magically conjure some what you imagine to be German transfer papers. You hand them to the secretary, and they look at them for a moment like, the fuck is this? It's a bunch of gibberish. Looks like you tried to spell Flammenwerfer here, but you can't spell Flammenwerfer, right? What's your name? What position are you? Who transferred you here?
I am actually so fucking mad with myself right now.
But having a perfect planning.
Guinevere, you're here too, if you can think of any way to help him.
What am I gonna do? Roll illusion to make the guy just see what he wants to fucking see?
I don't know, you could leave.
Okay, can I slither down Siobhan's pant leg and underneath the desk? What I'd like to do further is crawl up the back of the chair without being seen. So I'd have to use like a stealth to then cast an illusion in front of the soldier's eyes, so then he can actually read the paper that Siobhan is trying to get through to him.
Okay, what kind of illusion are you making? Because it's going to beg the same question of, do you know what a Nazi transfer paperwork looks like?
Yes.
Do you?
Listen, if I can get up on top of the table, right? Or like on top of the chair and look over the shoulder, I can look at whatever paperwork is going to be there and then make that illusion.
Okay. You do have 2 fate points and 1 free invoke on your 2 Atara.
I mean...
Okay, you can get down Siobhan's pant leg easily enough because all the eyes are currently on Siobhan and they're not paying attention to you.
Okay.
You slither down, crawl behind the desk. What are you doing next?
Now I want to go up the back of the chair, over top of, just barely peeking over top of the shoulder of the soldier, so then I can cast the illusion spell to have the form be exactly what it needs to be.
I'm going to try and just buy her some more time and keep talking like, okay, look, sorry, my paperwork is atrocious. The point is, the Fuhrer needs information on one of the prisoners that just recently got transferred. The Fuhrer. I hope you understand how important this is, obviously.
Make another talk roll, because they're a little suspicious of you now.
Oh shit, another 3. Clutch.
Alright, the secretary's hemming and hawing over your words for the moment, Siobhan, but he's not convinced completely yet.
The reason why this is so important is that apparently the prisoner that got transferred has information about the Ally movement and some of their upcoming plans. I need to know where this prisoner was transferred so that we can start the process of transferring her back.
What is this prisoner's name that you need to find?
Oma.
Why do you need to find Oma? We were told that she was important elsewhere.
Well, the chain of command has changed their mind.
Well, we don't keep tabs on where the prisoners are, but you can go check the smelting line. If she's here, she'll be there.
Thank you.
Hans, Fritz, and two Nazis approach. Escort our guest here to the smelting line. You now have 2 babysitters with you.
Okay. I start walking towards the smelting line.
Guinevere, what are you doing? Siobhan is leaving now.
Well, I'm crawling down the back of the chair so I don't get caught.
Okay.
And I'm gonna scurry my way over to an empty desk and hopefully scour some more papers to try to understand if the
Try to learn German.
Well, to try to understand if this person's lying to us or not. Gotta gather more information.
I mean, it's not going to change the fact that all the paperwork here is in German.
No, it's not. But hopefully I can roll something good eventually.
So you're staying in the administrative building while Siobhan leaves, then. All right.
Can I send a quick message to Audrey to let her know what's going on?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and roll mysticism.
5.
Yeah, you're fine. You gotta. The call goes through.
No, the other 2.
Sweet. Audrey.
Was it an actual call, or is it more just a communication telepathically?
Yeah, you're communicating telepathically right now.
Audrey, if Siobhan is with 2 other soldiers, I'm still in the administration building. Keep an eye on her. She's going to the smelting line.
Can I then roll mysticism to mention to Harmony, since she's out by the smelting line? That's her position.
Yeah, go ahead and roll mysticism.
7. Cool.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Hey, Siobhan is heading over to the smelting line. Watch out for her if you can.
Roger, Roger.
Alrighty then. Have I entered the smelting line?
Siobhan, you've been escorted from the administrative building over to the smelting line across the steel mill. They throw open the bay doors, and a wave of heat is the first thing that hits you as the doors open. The second thing to hit you is the fumes. The foundry is an acrid, choking place filled with the sound of pounding machinery and lit by harsh red light. Molten iron is being transferred from the blast furnace through numerous vessels, driving the temperature in here well above 100 degrees. Or for you Canadians, that's like almost 50 degrees.
Thanks.
Heavy machines straddle a conveyor belt shrouded in noxious vapor. Up above, parallel catwalks run the length of the building, patrolled by Nazi guards.
It's like almost 40 degrees, Kellen.
It's like above 100 degrees, so you're now standing in the hot, smelly, loud smelting line with 2 Nazi guards flanking you. What wouldst thou do?
Good question. And an excellent question deserves an excellent answer. And I am stalling for time entirely.
Sweet baby Jesus.
I'm going to approach the closest prisoner working the line.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. I am looking for the person who goes by the alias Oma. Do you know where she is?
You approach it's a blonde-haired woman wearing threadbare coveralls that have been rolled down to the waist. Her whole body is slick with sweat from the unbearable heat, and she has a rag tied around her mouth. In an effort to keep the fumes out, a pair of shackles around her ankles restricts her movement. She looks at you, Siobhan, and she kind of like peeks around behind you and looks at the guards behind you. And she looks back at you and she like pulls the rag away from her mouth and says, yes. Yes, I do.
Could you tell me where she is, please?
I believe she's resting in the locker room. If you follow me, I can take you there.
Very well. I turn to the 2 guards. This prisoner is going to show me where the person of interest is. You can return to your post now.
We were ordered to follow you everywhere.
Very well.
The blonde woman peeks around your shoulder and says, "It is the women's locker room." The 2 guards just kind of look at each other with like that, like the bumbling comedic duo look, where they're like, "Die." Very well, we will wait out here for you.
Very well. I turn to the prisoner. I'll follow your lead.
She leads you slowly because her legs are manacled. Further into the smelting line, and then she ducks into a side door, and you're now standing in a very grimy, not well taken care of locker room.
Okay. I look around the room. Do I see anyone else other than the 2 of us?
No, there's no one else in here. It's just you and her.
You told me she was in here.
She's not here anymore, but I figured you looked like you could use some help. You're not German, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, you're not incorrect. How soundproof is this room?
I mean, did you hear what it's like out there? They can barely hear us if we were out there. You're fine in here, don't worry.
Okay, first question. Who are you?
Name's Colette.
So, Colette, how could you tell I was in trouble?
Get pretty good at reading people when you hang out here long enough. So what are you here for? Yeah. Is this some big American mission to free all the prisoners? Is that what's going on here?
I don't think all the prisoners yet. Right now, all I feel comfortable telling you is to locate Oma.
Oma. Yeah, she was here about a month back or so.
Do you know where she went?
Let's see, they bring prisoners in big groups here to work the mill, and they tend to rotate them out pretty quickly, just so no one gets too wise. As I recall, they have a few prison facilities around the vicinity that they kind of send the prisoners to once they're done. I believe I think I remember hearing that the group Oma was with was sent to. I almost remember which one it was. You wouldn't happen to have anything to grease my palms a little, would you?
As a matter of fact, I do. I will conjure
Grease.
I will also. I would like to do like the same thing I did with the papers, where I will stealthily like reach into my pocket and pull out the conjured cash. All right, then. So I'll do my stealth roll first, and then my conjuration roll.
Okay.
Well, I'm not rolling well tonight.
I mean, a 2 isn't bad.
Better than 0.
Not great either when I got a +4 in it.
Oh, well, I mean, you know.
Colette's gonna invoke one of her aspects real quick. What kind of money are you conjuring?
German marks.
Do you know what this looks like? No, we're not gonna have a repeat of last time. We'll make you do that.
I think Marx was from Russia, actually.
You successfully conjure up a handful of German currency, but like as you're like conjuring it, she like grabs your hand and pulls it out in plain view, and she's like, "I knew it. You're with the Witch Brigade, aren't you?"
How do you know?
Because you just fucking magically conjured money.
Okay. The other.
Were you
This
trying to
process-
hide it? You didn't do a very good job of it.
Okay. How do you know I am part of the Witch Brigade?
Because you're an allied soldier and you just used magic. I don't understand what's unclear about this to you.
We are a top secret military unit. I just.
You really think the enemy doesn't know about your top secret bullshit? You really think you're that clever?
Okay, fine. I'm part of the Witch Brigade. I don't know why Oma is so important. Everyone's just keeping us in the dark on basically everything. And at this point, I am going to have a long, angry chat with at least 3 commanding officers as to why this is the case. So, Colette, I will cooperate with you fully if you're able to help me out, okay?
It's your fucking fault I'm in here, you know that?
You're going to have to elaborate further.
You really don't... Did you come to the steel mill without knowing what they're doing here?
Other than smelting steel, that's all we knew.
She sits down on a bench in the locker room, and she like hoists her leg up onto the in front of her. She pulls up the leg of one of her coveralls a little bit, and you can see the manacle chained around her ankle. The skin around it is sort of like is turned like pitch black and sort of spreading out in veins away from the manacle, like up and down her leg.
Okay.
They're
What is
bringing
that?
us in here to work the steel mill because they're making weapons to fight you. They don't have... yeah, it's true. The military needs a lot of metal. They don't need this kind of metal to do it.
What sort of metal are they making?
They call it cold iron. They rotate the prisoners out every month or so, but they keep me here because they need a test subject.
And you're magical too, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Not while I got this bullshit on my leg.
Colette, you said you wanted a palm greased, right?
I meant like cigarettes or something.
How do they keep the manacles on you?
With a key that they use to lock it.
Okay. Do you remember anything about what the shape of the key looks like?
Okay, listen, I see where this is going. This is gonna be you're gonna be the big damn hero setting all the prisoners free. Like, don't even bother. It's just gonna end up making trouble for everyone else.
Okay, fine then. You can stay here. I can make you some cigarettes. Do you know what Oma looks like in good detail?
I mean, they kept her pretty separate from the rest of the prisoners. She was special.
So you never saw her face well enough to remember it.
Nope, sorry to break it to you, bud.
Next problem. I have an ally in the administrative building still. Is there a back entrance into this building?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, there's the upstairs entrance from the catwalks, but as far as I know, the bay doors are the only way out from this level.
Could you shift it over to Ali for a minute while I think to Guinevere?
Okay. Actually, we're gonna go to Audrey next.
Oh, jeez.
Audrey, you're hunkered down atop the ridge to the north of the steel mill, keeping a watchful eye over the front entrance. Traffic going in and out of the premises is largely quiet, aside from a few freight-bearing trucks. Give me a roll recon for me.
Oakley dokley. Also, I'm to the east, I think, not the north.
Well, northeast. I mean, it's like you're watching the road coming in from the
Yeah.
north.
Yeah. Oh, the road goes north?
Well, the road goes. You're watching it from the north. The road goes east and west.
Right, okay. It's not where I thought I was, but I gotta fucking... Can I just spend a fate point instead? No, that's not gonna work. Never mind.
Yeah, only if you have an aspect to justify it.
Not really. Nothing's happening. I'm just sitting here. There's no anything going on, so nope. Great. It's 0.
All right. Well, I guess you don't see anything interesting happen then.
Yeah, I see nothing. Doesn't that spell disaster? I can feel it looming, and it's going to be fun when it hits. I'll just enjoy the storm, thanks.
Conflict drives narrative, you guys.
It's
Exactly.
true. I do say that every time. Guinevere, where did we last leave you in the administrative building? What were you up to?
I was underneath the table.
Okay.
I was trying to get some sort of intel via paperwork.
Shortly after Siobhan is escorted out and you're hiding under the desk, you hear the secretary pick up the phone and dial a number. The secretary hangs up the phone and motions to a few of the other Nazis loitering about the office. They nod silently and immediately file out of the building with their guns in tow.
Fuck. Okay. First thing I want to do, is there any, did they all leave the building, or are there some still left behind?
Not all of them. I'd say like half left the building, so there's still like a handful in here.
Sugar. Okay, I want to roll mysticism to try to connect with Siobhan to tell her cover's blown.
Okay, go ahead and roll that mysticism.
I got a 3.
Yeah, you open up your mind to get into the mystical transference of thought that I assume all you guys have trained in, like during your basic training. Extend that tendril of thought north towards the smelting line. However, as your mind approaches the smelting line, you feel a sort of a kind of resistance against your mind.
Son of a bitch. Okay, can I redirect that to Audrey then?
Yeah, but roll again.
I got a 1. Can I use my aspect point though?
Yeah, you can use a fate point if you have it on an appropriate aspect. What are you gonna invoke?
Distrustful?
How does that apply?
Well, I'm distrustful that of the German troops, and I can't get the message to Siobhan to save her. So I'm distrustful that this isn't gonna work. That her cover's blown.
Yeah, okay.
She doesn't trust Siobhan to get out of this situation unscathed.
That's much better. I'll go with that answer. Can I, if I make that a +1, can I get that message through to Audrey?
Oh, you get +2 on that, so you got a 3 on your mysticism to Audrey.
Sweet. Okay, Audrey. Siobhan's cover is blown, and I can't get through to her in the smelting line. You got to get her out of.
Ooh, got it.
So I've sent that message, and now I'm going to. Maybe I'll do something stupid. When the door to go out of the building opens, I'm gonna run out in my iguana form, and I'm gonna try to bolt across the way to try to get into the smelting line, so I can get in front of the people who are trying to sabotage Siobhan, so I can get in there to help her. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to beeline it from the administrative building all the way to the smelting line.
In your lizard form?
How fast the Kiwatara is.
15 miles an hour is their top speed, which is still pretty good, actually.
Yeah. You're gonna have to roll stealth at least.
I can do that. I got a 6.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, so does that mean I've successfully beelined it from the administrative building all the way to the smelting line to where Siobhan is?
Yeah, you're able to get out there.
Perfect.
I imagine the German soldiers would probably be taking their sweet time anyways, because I mean, like, they've got her cornered. They don't know anyone else is here. They wouldn't really have any reason to be like.
Tuataras are also bigger than I expected.
I was thinking something like iguana size. How big are they?
28 to 31 inches.
Maybe she turns into a baby Tuatara.
Anyways, so the point is that okay, so I'm now with Siobhan, correct?
Yeah, you said you're sneaking out the next time the door opens.
Yeah.
The next time the door opens is when someone steps inside, and before you go streaking across, you realize that the person who just stepped into the office is in fact Sergeant Krause, the man who you faced at the Delacroix estate previously.
Oh shit. He's the one that hit me with a car.
He was the one who ran you over with a car. I don't know if that changes your course of actions, Guinevere. I just thought you should know.
Well, to be honest, that doesn't do me shit because I'm trying to save Siobhan.
Sergeant Krause walks in, the secretary stands up to greet him, but he just angrily waves the secretary away and storms upstairs.
There's an upstairs?
That's what changes your course of action, is the fact there's stairs. If you're still sneaking out, whether you want to sneak out or sneak somewhere else, your stealth roll will stand, so whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And besides, I could always come back later, so I'm going to stick the course and still go to Siobhan.
You scamper across the steel mill complex all the way over to where the smelting line is, and you scuttle underneath the open bay door. It's hot, and it's very smoggy in here, and it's very loud also.
Can I use my senses to try to locate Siobhan? Is that a thing?
Like your natural senses or like magical senses?
I was going to say natural senses as a Tuatara, but maybe I should research how good their senses are.
I was gonna say, what do they do? Did they taste the air? I think that's a snake thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
it's a snake thing.
Either way, it's gonna taste like steel flak.
Man, if only you picked a shark as your favorite form, then you could like sense body electricity.
A Tuatara does have a third eye on top of the head called the
What the fuck? Really?
parietal eye. This eye has a retina, lens, cornea, and nerve endings, but is not used for vision.
Yeah.
The parietal eye is only used. It's only visible in hatchlings as it becomes covered in scales and pigments after. Pigments after 4 to 6 months.
That's weird.
Yeah. Tuataras are fucking cool.
What do you see with your third eye?
Guinevere, what's your Tuatara eyes see?
Oh, I have sensitivity to infrared radiation.
Also, you're in a smelting line, so there's going to be like a lot of that.
You are in an active steel mill where they're melting down iron and turning it into steel.
I apparently have a really good nose, so I can try to smell or scent.
You can't see Siobhan, but you can see the two Nazis that were following her waiting outside the locker room a ways up.
Just follow the smell of Irish Spring.
Well, then in that case, I'll just trace that sight line because they seem to be looking at it. Well, I mean, are they looking at a door? Should I roll recon?
Yeah, you just see them loitering outside of a locker room.
Ooh, can I use my illusion roll to make it sound like something got knocked over and it calls them away because they need to go investigate it?
You can certainly roll illusion to attempt that.
Okay, I got a 1.
Yeah, you attempt to, but similarly to when you try to use mysticism to contact Siobhan, you find your magical efforts blunted by a sort of cold sensation that apparently it permeates around you, which is weird because it's really hot in here, but it's like a magical coldness.
Can I get to the catwalk from here?
It's above you.
That's not a no.
I mean, it's not easily accessible from here, no.
How high can Tuataras jump?
Yeah, can I scale walls?
I'll just give you a moment to think here. I'll say, Harmony and Silas, I have things that could be of interest to you. I don't know if you just want to watch this play out though, or if you want to like try to get involved.
I mean, like, I wouldn't want to just like by not doing anything cause harm to come to my friend. So if there is something that we can contribute, then I'd like to hear it.
If you guys want to take a moment right now to do something, you can do that real quick.
Or
we can just assume you've been keeping them abreast of the situation in the background, so they just automatically going on.
That's generally what I would like to be doing.
Audrey, roll mysticism for me real quick again.
Sure. I rolled a 5.
I am listening so hard right now.
All these fucking things I know.
She accidentally overshared. She opened her brain too much, and now I have all of Audrey's childhood memories, and I don't know what to do with them.
I'll say going off your locations on the map here, you're able to keep in contact with Harmony, no problem. But when you try to reach out to contact Silas, similar to Guinevere, you kind of find your attempts to reach him telepathically sort of blunted or hindered, and you're able to power through it because your mysticism is good enough. But there's some sort of strange, almost sort of like radio interference going on when you try to get in touch with him down there.
I have an idea to create a distraction. So there's like a chain link fence separating me from the interior of this place, right?
Yeah, as I recall, you're about a dozen yards away from it, hiding in the grass. It's also raining, so you're getting pretty miserable out there.
Okay. That maybe hinders what my original plan was to run into Warehouse A and shout, look out, the warehouse is on fire, everyone get out!
I mean, a fire could break out inside the warehouse.
True. Okay, yeah, so, first I'm going to, I guess, like, use Kinesis to do a little, like, blowtorch action and just, like, cut a hole in the chain link for me to get through.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough. Ironically, because the chain link fence already has holes, cutting a hole in it leaves it with fewer holes than there was before.
Yeah.
Food for thought. I run into Warehouse A.
You take a moment to ponder this.
I'll start the fire first. I start a small fire, so I guess I'll require another Kinesis roll.
Yes.
5.
Yeah, you start a reasonably sized fire. Hey, hang on, let me describe the warehouse first.
Okay.
The creaking of the bay doors echoes off the cavernous interior. It's dark in here, but you can make out the indistinct shapes of crates and wooden pallets piled high all around.
Oh, so there's nobody in here? Okay, great, bonus. I set some crates on fire, enough so that some smoke starts wafting out. And then I'm just going to run out in the courtyard waving my arms and shouting, Everyone, help, the warehouse is on fire!
I feel like I should make you roll something because you're not disguised as a German soldier right now.
Should I roll talk?
Yeah, roll talk for me real quick.
-1.
Wow.
It's hot over there. Hot.
Everyone! Harmony slips and falls in the mud.
Well, actually, they rolled a -1 on their opposed rolls, so I guess you're fine.
Wow.
All according to plan.
Yeah, several of the soldiers milling about in the compound here perk up by the sound of your voice, and apparently, ignoring the fact that you're wearing an allied military uniform, they rush over to Warehouse A and run inside.
Well, okay. When we went to Abville, we changed into our civilian clothes. I assume
That's true.
we still have those.
That's fair, yeah.
Also, they're covered in mud now, so you can't really tell what I'm wearing.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'll run into the smelting line area as well and shout, just like, fire! In the Warehouse A! Someone come help, please!
Troll in the dungeon!
Should I roll another talk because I'm doing that again, or
No, we'll just roll with your same one. Some more of the Nazis file out.
well, what about the guards at the door?
No, they stay where they are. But you probably distracted the group that was sent from the administrative building over to the smelting line.
Okay, well that buys us some time. Also, I never saw the ones that were tailing Siobhan, so I wouldn't even know if I was effective or not.
Silas, you see? I don't know. Roll recon for me, actually.
3.
Yeah, you see the general uproar that Harmony has caused.
Okay. I don't know if this is the signal or not, so
That's true.
I might just start throwing some grenades.
Jesus Christ.
So, I want to throw grenades sort of more out to the west side, more as like a distractionary thing.
I mean, the west side, to the west of the steel mill, so behind the warehouses?
Yeah, like sort of outside the camp. Less destruction, more distraction.
Okay. Roll explosives then.
But it's a 4.
Oh yeah, you definitely distract even more people. You hear some of them run, it's like, quickly, we're under attack!
Well, I mean, if they think they're already under attack, then let's prove them right?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely where someone's attacking them, but you did draw them to the wrong place.
Everyone's going to where we aren't, so gotta stick to the plan. So I'm gonna start blowing holes in the wall.
Fair.
There's a 4.
Oh yeah, a hole was blown in the wall.
And then I'm gonna try and get another explosive out to the west to try and draw some attention out that way again. With another 4.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're increasingly distracted.
And then I'm gonna try and fucking just not be seen anymore.
Roll stealth for me then.
-2.
Oh yeah, no. Some of them, when they're running over to the warehouses, catch sight of the hole that you blew in the wall, and at least one of them sees your form fleeing into the distance and says, "This way! I saw him go this way!" So several of them break apart and pursue you through the hole you just made, Silas. Let's go back to the smelting line now.
I have an idea. So just a quick recap, the 2 officers that were accompanying Siobhan are still at the door, correct?
Yeah. They've obviously aware of what's going on, but they're sticking to their previous orders of keeping an eye on this person they suspect to be an intruder.
Okay. So I'm going to crawl up inside of Harmony's pant leg and up to her back and just tell her that I think Siobhan is behind the door that the 2 guards are guarding because those were the guards that were with her.
Oh, Jesus, what the fuck? Oh, it's just
Especially like the lizard voice too, which that is
You got
terrifying
to
to
your
hear.
lizard voice.
Oh, what did I sound like again? Harmony. You got her.
That's definitely not what it sounded like.
Where's Rachel? Where is she?
Well, if he's here, only by my hand.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So what does Guinevere say?
Guinevere basically just says that the 2 officers that were accompanying Siobhan are standing by the door. I think she's behind the door, but I can't get them to move. Magic doesn't work in here, apparently.
It's blunted.
Well, I mean, from my experiences, that's what I'm gonna say. But like, obviously, it's blunted. But from my perspective, because I rolled 2 1s while trying to get into the building.
That's true. That is
Yeah,
true.
that would be a logical assumption to make. I'm gonna concealing my pipe wrench behind my back. I am going to go over and approach the soldiers at the locker room door.
Are you doing so stealthily, or are you just walking at him?
I'm just gonna come over. I'm gonna be like, "Excuse me, sir. Did you hear? There's a fire going on outside, and I think I heard explosions. I think we're under attack."
What? Under attack?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I just heard explosions going on outside, and there's smoke coming out of the warehouse.
The 2 guards exchange a look, and one of them is like, "I'll go check this out. I guess you wait here." So one of them leaves. The other one's still there. He looks at you and says, all right. Thank you very much. Get back to work."
I'm gonna clobber him upside the head with my pipe wrench.
Oh shit! Roll CQC.
Oh no!
Boy.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, yeah.
I am going to spend a fate point.
0.
You can either give yourself a +2 on that, or you can just re-roll.
I'm going to spend it to reroll. I'm going to invoke won't stand for this because
he's a Nazi. Yeah.
yeah, faced with the opportunity to clobber a Nazi with a pipe wrench, there's no way I'm going to fucking whiff that.
Oh yeah.
Pull your punches.
I won't
Right.
stand for it.
Go ahead and make your re-roll.
Better, I guess.
Technically,
Margin.
yes.
Marginally.
We've gone from a -2 to a 0.
Yeah, you swing your pipe wrench at his head, and he catches it just before it clocks him. He's like, "Whoa! What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
Fireball.
What? Harmony, you idiot!
I know magic doesn't work. I'm just going for a Hail Mary right now. 6.
You did roll. He did roll a really nice 6 on that. He tries to dodge out the side, but he still ends up getting scorched, and he takes 3 shifts of damage.
Wow.
Got burned pretty bad, but not enough to take him down. Guinevere, what did you want to do?
Well, I still wanted to get out of her clothing and just sneak into the door because obviously he's distracted enough that he's not going to notice the door opening.
Sure. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Oh, can I invoke my aspect on that since I'm doing it as a Tuatara?
Yeah, the free invoke. Oh my god, he rolled a 4 on his recon roll.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
Shit.
you're able to sneak in without getting harassed, but he probably sees you as you sneak in.
Okay, so I'm just still here with this Nazi that I just burnt in the face.
Oh yeah, but he's gonna shoot you. He rolled a 2 on his attack roll. Go ahead and roll athletics because it was assault.
Well, fuck me running.
You take 1 shift of damage.
Ow, oof, ouch.
My shifts.
Holy shift! I feel like Scott hasn't talked in a while. Scott, would you like to do something?
I'm guessing at this point I'm aware of the commotion that's happening out
You
nearby.
probably heard at least one of the explosions, and now there's a Tuatara sneaking under the door.
Okay. I'm going to stop conjuring the Nazi uniform.
Oh, is that like an active thing you're doing? I thought you just made it and then you...
Well, I mean, if it's conjured, I'm guessing I can also, like, dispel it, can't I?
It's kind of thought you, like, pulled the raw elements out of the atmosphere or some shit like that.
Okay. I'm going to conjure clothing that looks similar to Colette's. I got a 5.
Yeah, you make some grody-ass dirty clothing.
Colette, I need you to punch me in my eye.
When do you notice me here? Like,
That's good. I told you the 2 Atara came under the door. I told you that, didn't I? Go ahead and roll physique, Scott. You take 3 shifts of damage.
Cool.
Wow.
Hell of a right hook there. Damn, I want
Cool.
Colette in the party now.
How bruised and bloodied is my face?
3 shifts of damage. That's gonna, yeah. You got it. There's probably gonna be a black eye. You got a shiner now.
Cool. Face is swelling. Good.
Colette looks at you with a little bit of newfound respect.
You said Oma was north of here. Is that correct?
They sent her to a facility known as Station Zwei.
Station Zwei.
I don't know where it is though.
Thank you, Colette. Really.
No problem. Just don't ask anything else of me.
Heads up. There's probably going to be lots of fire coming around here soon. So just remember, I was never here.
You got it.
I think at this point I'm going to start making my way towards the door to leave.
Are you not gonna say anything to Guinevere?
Oh. And then I'm guessing I see a lizard just...
You step on a lizard on your way out.
I like to think that Guinevere just sat there, just let Siobhan get punched in the face for a laugh.
Yeah.
Guinevere.
Siobhan, what the hell did you do?
Look, I needed a disguise. I didn't see you there.
Okay, listen. Okay. So I sent a message to Audrey. Audrey sent a message to Harmony. Harmony set the warehouse on fire, and Silas is throwing bombs near the other warehouse. And I don't know what's happening. So, like, Harmony blew up the guy's face standing outside the door, but she also took a gunshot. So I'm in here to try to get you out. And whoever the fuck is this? Is this what we're looking for? Is this Oma?
No, this is not Oma.
Hi, I'm Colette.
Okay. Well. Hi,
I don't
nice
want to be a
meet
part of this, though.
Well, too fucking bad. You're part of it now. So let's just get out of here.
I opened the door.
You exit the locker room back into the smelting line where you see a half-burned Nazi with a gun pointed at Harmony.
Yeah, also I got shot.
Only a little, though.
She's been shot enough times in the past that she's built up an immunity to smaller bullets.
I'm gonna try and club this guy again, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and roll CQC.
Ah, 1, finally.
Oh, yeah. You knock him out this time.
A big cartoon lump grows out of the top of his head as he keels over. Then Harvey, just kind of like clutching her side where the bullet grazed her, looks at Siobhan. I'm like, the hell happened to you?
Long story, but we are leaving.
That's the best thing you've said all day. Let's go.
I mean, just to recap here, guys. She told you that Oma's in Station Zwei. You have no idea where that is, though.
I think at this point, I have more questions than where Station Zwei is.
What if we went back to the administration? Just drop me off at the administration building. Let me see if I can find a map.
I yeet Guinevere towards the admin building.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'd have to roll stealth if you don't want to get caught.
Okay, I got a 3.
Yeah, that's just barely good enough. So you get away, just as like one of the Nazi guards approaches Siobhan Harmon and says, "You two, what are you doing out here? Get back to Vark."
We heard there was a fire and explosions.
That's being dealt with. It's not your concern. He's gonna try to grab you both by the wrist and drag you off towards the warehouses because he thinks it's your prisoners. Guinevere, you slip away though towards the administrative building. It's silent. You're being chased by Nazis. What do you do?
How much space is between us?
I'd say you got a pretty good head start on them, so you're about 30 feet or so ahead of them.
Okay, how long do you suppose it takes to place and arm a landmine?
I feel like any answer I give would be wrong, but you're gonna have the right one.
So I could conjure the mine, plunk it down just into the mud, and then arm it, couldn't I?
Presumably.
All right, so I'm gonna conjure this thing while I'm running. I guess that's a 3.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I just want to plop this thing in the ground and then arm it and fuck off.
Is this something that goes off if they step on it?
It has a proximity sensor.
Okay. Unfortunately, they didn't trigger it. They went around it. They saw you do it because they're only a few feet behind you.
Okay, but I can still activate it, can't I?
I mean, you'll probably be in the blast radius this range too.
I can still duck behind a tree though, can't I?
I mean, you can try. You can have to. I'm gonna set this up as a contest, like we did for the race between Guinevere and Harmony.
So what am I rolling on?
You already made your roll for your explosives, and they made a roll to see what you're doing, and they beat you.
So do I roll again then?
So far they got 1 point in this contest. First person to 3 points wins. So what are you trying to do now? They are bearing down on you in hot pursuit. What are you doing?
I'm gonna have to just start dropping grenades then.
Okay, go for it.
There's an explosives roll. 8. Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they rolled a -1 on their roll.
All right. 1 and 1 then.
Well, actually, that's a success with style for you, so you get 2 points for that.
Oh, cool.
I'll say you take out 2 of them, but there's still 1 coming after you. So if you want to drop bomb again, you can go ahead and roll for that.
I may as well. That's a 1.
They also rolled a 1, but they're going to invoke an aspect on it to give himself a +2. So that's a total of +3 for him. So it's now 2-2.
Well, I'm gonna keep dropping grenades. That's a 4.
Yeah, he rolled a 2. So you take him out with your 3rd grenade. They now have no more Nazis following you.
Neat. I am going to. We didn't really set up a recon area, rendezvous area, so I'm just gonna work my way around to where I last saw Audrey. I guess I think that's where we last were.
Audrey, what have you been up to? We haven't touched in on you. Are you doing anything you wanted to say?
Well, have I seen any of this going on? Do I have to roll recon? Do I know what's happening?
I guess roll recon, but it'll probably be an easy one.
And a 3 to notice the grenades explosion.
Oh yeah, you definitely noticed the grenades then.
Okay,
Probably
cool.
enough to notice that's Silas's handiwork.
Yes, that sounds like Silas is blowing shit up.
So I guess the working knowledge you have here is that Silas has responded to the signal going off, even though you never noticed any signal going off.
Yes, I'm going to deduce that it's time to move. Sounds to me like shit hit the fan because things are exploding. So, time to, turn off the fan or something, or abandon that metaphor. Anyway, so I'm going to, if I could, move west, since I'm kind of the northeast.
Yeah.
Top part. I don't want to cut across the big gateway, but I'd like to, meet up with people. So I'm kind of heading towards where Harmony was.
Yeah, you can move towards where Harmony's position was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, move towards Harmony's position. You'll probably realize pretty quickly she's not there anymore.
In there.
But there is a hole burned into the fence where she was.
But there's a hole in the fence. All right. Yes. Good. Well.
And a lot of Nazis milling around Warehouse A.
So I would like to then move up to the fence. I don't really want to head in because I have no options. I need to be on the outside, but I'd like to be able to keep closer tabs on the action. What I'd want to do is get through the fence, the whole little hole in the fence between it and the warehouse, or the smelting line, that kind of.
That little alley.
So I'm in Yeah. So I can kind of keep an eye on things, and I'm there. People move. So I guess I'd roll stealth to not be seen.
Go for it, man.
A 2.
Yeah, you're unnoticed at the moment.
Excellent. So what would you say is happening about this time? What is
There are a lot of Nazis milling around Warehouse A. It kind of looks like the fire's more or less died down at this point, though.
So if there's time, the only other thing I want to do before basically just waiting for other people around is to contact people with mysticism. Preferably Guinevere and then Silas in that order.
For the purposes of this, we'll say that you're trying to contact Guinevere around the same time that Siobhan and Harmony just got mistaken for workers, and Guinevere's running back to the administrative building.
Right. Perfect. I rolled a 4.
The sort of like radio interference, the sort of like cold resistance you had to your earlier mysticism attempts feels stronger here when you're closer to the warehouse.
Right.
But your roll still works.
I'm just going to say, what's the pertinent information? I'm on the north side next to Warehouse A. What's going on? Or where is everybody?
Silas, MIA, Harmony, and Siobhan back in the smelting line, and I'm headed towards the administration building again.
Oh, Harmony and Siobhan are being led in the direction of the warehouses.
Guinevere wouldn't know that, right? Because she left beforehand?
Yeah.
That's true.
As far as I know, they're being redirected back to the smelting line because they look like prisoners. Silas is MIA, and I'm going back to the administration building to get a map.
Perfect. I don't really have anything to add. Can I roll mysticism to find Silas then?
Yeah, sure. But since you don't really know where he is, it's going to be kind of a tough roll.
Right. Okay. I rolled a 3. Is that enough to make it through?
It might be a little short. You want to invoke something on that?
Yeah, it's going to be my mama bear.
I would say that
because one of my cubs is missing, and I heard a lot of explosions. I really need to know where they are right now. So a +2 to that. It makes it a 5. Is that enough to get through now?
Oh yeah, you're good. Give me the fate point though.
It sustains him.
Yeah.
All right, you're now in contact with Silas.
What's your status? Are you okay? Everything handled. If that's all I get, I'm gonna have to move.
I'm good, actually. I'm doing pretty well. Things are all clear on my end as of basically just now. There is live anti-personnel mine in these woods now, though, so we'll just have to watch out for that.
That should work itself out.
All right.
Other than that, I'll just work my way back around to where I last saw you.
I'll specify where I am now, next to warehouse A and the smelting line. Meet me there.
Oh, Roger.
We're gonna go to Guinevere next.
Did I make it into the administration building like I wanted to?
Yeah, you sneak back in.
Sweet. Can I roll a recon roll to see if there's anybody in the first floor? Because I want to make my way up to the second floor.
Yeah, go ahead and make a recon roll.
I got a 4.
Yeah, there are a few people in here. The general uproar around like the fire sort of died down, so a few of them have trickled back in. They're all kind of like they're talking very kind of hushed panic tones about this.
Are they going to be distracted enough that I can sneak up the stairs?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's also like an air duct you could probably get in too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I'll go through the air duct.
Make another stealth roll for me, just for posterity.
5.
What are you worried about? You always do good on stealth.
It's your thing.
Yeah.
All right, you scuttle up through the vents. You stop periodically, look down to rooms. Most of them seem kind of unimportant. However, towards the end of the second floor, you come across a significant-looking room. This room appears to be the boss's office. There's an expensive-looking desk littered with papers and files. Behind it, a large map of France is displayed on the wall with pins pushed into it at several locations. The door bursts open and a furious-looking Sergeant Krause storms into the room, swearing under his breath. He looks much the worse for wear since you saw him last, banged up and bruised, but still very much alive. He continues ranting to the aide at his flank. As if having my driver burnt to a stain on the upholstery wasn't bad enough, now the great commandant is sending one of her dogs to come poke their nose in my business. He collapses into the seat at his desk. And it just has to be the loose cannon of the bunch, too. She gives me the chills the way she always... The way I always what, Sergeant? Both Krause and his aide start in surprise at the voice. On the far side of the room, a dark shape detaches itself from the wall. Coming into the light, you can make out the ashen skin, coal-black hair, and dark uniform you saw before in Dudley's file. This is Ferenza of the Thule Division. She's clutching her sides as if she were ill, and she approaches the desk with a strange limping gait. Krause and his aide both snap to attention. Ah, Ferenza, I did not realize you were... I don't like my being here any more than you do. But you understand that the nature of your work here is of great interest to the Commandant, for multiple reasons. She smiles darkly at Krause. However, if you feel strongly about it, I could always ask the ghost to pay you a visit. Krause visibly blanches. No, his denial devolves into incoherent mumbling. Ferenza walks right up to Krause and raises a hand beside his face. A look of abject panic flashes across his eyes, but he seems rooted in place. And for your information, Sergeant, I have made great strides in controlling my powers. She presses her finger onto the map of France behind Krause. Or perhaps you didn't notice. She pulls her finger away from the map, revealing a smoking, singed hole right where Abbeville was. Ferenza pulls away and retreats back across the office. So I do not appreciate being called a loose cannon. I am not just some weapon, Sergeant. Not anymore. Before she can say anything further, there's another loud noise from outside. You see Ferenza tense up and the lights in the room suddenly grow dim for an instant. She looks back at Krause, her smile gone. I don't like loud noises. They make me jumpy. In silence, she turns to leave the room but pauses in the open doorway. Slander me all you wish, Sergeant. But leave the Commandant out of it. And the door slams shut behind her. Krause sits at his desk and starts working on papers, obviously unsettled by the experience.
So I got some information, but I don't have photographic memory.
You want to roll recon or something to look at the map more closely?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I got a 2. Shit.
Yeah, you're looking at all the push pins in the push pin locations on the map. And you're able to identify where the Duchamp Steel Mill is, right where you are. And you notice that kind of in like each of the more or less in the 4 cardinal directions, there's like another there's like a black push pin in each one, and you kind of look at the location for each one. You realize one says Station Ein, one says Station 2, one says Station 3, one says Station 4. The one that says Station 5 is about 50 miles to the west of Duchamp Steel Mill.
Okay. Maybe I should roll mysticism just one more time to try to get back to Audrey and relate the information I just saw, and then ask if there's anything else that I need to know before I get out of here.
Sure, go for it if you want.
I got a 2.
Yeah, I'll say that's good enough for now.
Audrey,
Yeah.
I found a map of France, and I know where the second warehouse is that we need to go to find our target. Do we need to find anything else while I'm in the administrative building? Is there any other information you want me to look for?
That's what we came for, so I don't think so.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get the fuck out of Dodge.
Just in case you die, where is it?
It's 50 miles west of here.
Alright, cool. Even distribution of information.
I'll get the fuck out of here then. Where are you so I can meet up with you?
North side, warehouse A.
Okay, great. I'll meet you there. And then I sneak back out of the vents. Actually, wait, can I go to the roof from here?
Yeah, I'd say you can probably reach the roof from the vents.
Sweet, I'll go to the roof.
All right. You scuttle along through the air vents and find the shaft leading up, climb up it, and you're now on the roof of the administrative building.
Shaft.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about the shaft.
He gets it.
Yeah, so now I'm on the roof.
Can I roll recon to see her on the roof?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. I'll roll recon. Wow, we both got a 1.
Ships passing in the night. You want to try to look for Harmony and Siobhan, I guess?
Well, I'm gonna let someone else have a turn.
All right, Harmony and Siobhan, you're being escorted towards in the direction of Warehouse B.
Okay. I look over at Siobhan and I say, okay, do you trust me?
That's about as far as I can throw Guinevere.
I think it's time we gave everyone the signal.
What?
Is warehouse A still on fire?
Not at this
No, I
point.
think the fire's been put out at this point, yeah.
Okay. But there are active forages in the smelting line, right?
That smelting line's still operational, yeah.
I have a stunt called Elemental Mastery, which, once per scene, I can invoke this stunt so that I have a +2 to all kinesis rolls made with the abundance of fire. I'm also going to invoke an aspect on this, which is host with the most.
Well, what are you trying to do? Tell me that first.
I am going to create a column of fire and just like have it launch straight upward as far as it'll go. And my hope is that it will simultaneously distract the guard enough for us to make a break for it, and also give us all a converging point since nobody seems to know where everyone else is. My hope is that everyone will see a giant column of fire shooting straight up and be like, oh shit, Harmony's around there, and then everyone can group up. So I'm going to make a kinesis roll at a +4 to just try and make a huge column of fire that shoots straight up.
Okay.
What we got? A 5.
Nice.
It's maybe not quite as spectacular as you envisioned it, but it's still a thing of beauty as you make a giant spire of fire that bursts that erupts into the sky above you.
And it's definitely something that the guard is going to be like, holy shit at, right?
Oh, yeah, he basically falls over trying to get out of the way of this giant column of fire right next to him.
Can I roll recon to see them coming?
I feel like at this point it's obvious. I won't make you roll for that.
All right, good.
Silas, where are you right now?
Oh, I like to imagine I'm like just coming out from the trees, like over a hill maybe to the south there, and I see this big fucking pillar of flame going. You know, maybe this is the signal.
Oh, that's the signal.
Okay, let's run over to Audrey.
At this point, I am going to try something out here, because I think also at this point we need to not be seen as we leave.
Yeah, you did kind of make a giant commotion just now.
I think at this point I'm just going to use all-purpose magic, and I'm going to make the 3 of us invisible.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll Conjuration for that. I got a 3.
I'm going to say if you're trying to make 3 people invisible, 3's not going to cut it. You could probably make one of you invisible with the 3, but not all 3 of you.
I'll make Harmony invisible.
Yeah, I'm not so stealthy.
Yeah, I guess you're invisible.
Okay, cool.
Does anyone have eyes on Guinevere?
I have eyes on me.
3 of them.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, you're not in contact with them at the moment.
So I see the giant ball of fire coming out of the smelting line.
You definitely do.
Sweet. So then I'll blow my whistle for Titan, the hippogriff, to come and pick me up from the roof.
Are you still in Tuatara form, or did you change back at this point?
If we're gonna be like specific, I can do my shapeshifting roll to change back into my human form to then blow my whistle.
As you're mustering the magic energies to shapeshift yourself back, you feel something press down on your reptilian tail. When you're in this business as long as I've been, you're able to sense when another witch is around.
Fuck.
You look over your shoulder and you see Forenza standing over you.